Now, this is college football game night.
Welcome into the college football game night. I'm Olivia Cleary, and the college football season has been just flying by. It's week 9 already. The season is heating up, and the games are starting to hold a lot more weight. And that's especially true for the Oregon Ducks, who are still a favorite to make the college football playoffs and are in the national championship conversation. But wait, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. The biggest task for the Ducks this week was taking down the Wisconsin Badgers. So let's head out to Autzen Stadium, where it's feeling less like 2025 and more like 1977. And Dante Moore, of course, looking to lead the Ducks to their 7th win of the season in this game that's themed for the Grateful Dead. First quarter, Oregon struggling a little bit on offense, very uncharacteristic, and Dante Moore sacked on the 4th down. The ball goes to the Badgers. Later in the first quarter, Moore looking to keep the drive alive, but taken down on his own blindside. Another sack for this Wisconsin defense. Oregon only 21 yards of total offense. And then here comes the rain. You know they say it never rains in Autzen Stadium, but when it does, the Ducks come alive. Jamari Johnson there with a 23-yard bump and deep into Wisconsin territory, and that'll set the Ducks up for this right here. It's Jordan Davidson. He punches it in for the only score of the half, and he's just been a crucial piece of this Oregon offense in the Oregon run game this season. 1 touchdown at halftime. Wisconsin really mixing it up on defense, giving the Ducks some different looks and making it hard for them to score, and uncharacteristic turnovers early in the game, as you saw. And with the weather getting worse, the run game is going to be way more crucial heading into the second half. So in the second half, the Ducks were able to get it going with the run game. Big plays from Noah Whittington and more, just explosive in the run game, which allowed them to pull off a 21-7 win. Now let's hear from head coach Dan Lanning post-game.
A little bit of a fun environment, different game tonight. I thought our fans were unbelievable. Ty Burrell kicking us off with shout there in the third quarter was pretty awesome, something you couldn't ignore. And it became really apparent early in this game what kind of game was going to be, and we had to figure out a way that we could run the ball effectively. I think after that 99-yard drive, we really saw that, our guys take that by the horns and find a way to be able to attack. That's a good defense when it comes to trying to rush the ball against them. It's really difficult, and this became that kind of game. We had some really unselfish play from our players. I thought they were engaged the entire game, and it was really clear that it's going to be hard to be able to throw in some of those conditions. Saw some guys step up when their number was called. Dante got dinged. Think he's going to be in great shape. Was probably in position that he could have gone in, but for Brock to come in and perform the way he did, really excited, for him to be able to do that. I know the players were really proud of him to start so poorly on third down offensively and then turn around and finish so strong in the second half, taking advantage of third down opportunities was big. And then defense, played lights out today. They did a really good job of controlling, Wisconsin, excluding that last score by them. I thought we had some dynamic plays in special teams and certainly some stuff we got to clean up. So the 9 penalties is troublesome. We got to be better there. And there were some penalties on some big plays that could have been difference makers for us. But outside of that, I'm proud of how our players played in a tough environment, in a tough situation, and able to just take advantage of every opportunity in front of them.
From Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, and now let's dive even further into Oregon's big win over Wisconsin. And here to give us all the details is Brett Taylor, joining us live from Autzen Stadium. Brett, were you hanging in there okay with all that rain?
Olivia, I can confirm I am still alive and well despite me being drenched like a wet dog. You actually may think behind me it looks like maybe the fog has rolled into Eugene, Oregon, but in fact, that's my camera lens fogging off. That's how much rain we had in our area, that it was actually seeping into the lens of my camera. And when you give the camera just a little bit of warmth, you get a little bit of that fog in the lens. And well, here we are right now breaking down the game. But yes, I am doing just fine. You know who's doing even better right now is Oregon football, coming away with this kind of dogfight of a win, 21-7 the final against Wisconsin, and what was kind of what we expected it may be with the rain, the wind, the elements. We thought it might be a little bit of a slugfest, and that's exactly what we got. But the unselfish play by Oregon all across the board from defense and offense is a big reason why they got this win, and it's a big reason how they continue to be able to keep their names in the conversation to also, of course, get into the potential Big Ten title conversation. But, of course, their name in the conversation for a natural title contender as well, Olivia.
And in a game like this where the weather, it's raining, it's hard to throw the ball if you're a quarterback like Brock Thomas or Dante Moore, how crucial was the run game today for Oregon? And what did you see from the running backs?
Yeah, it was absolutely crucial, Olivia. I mean, I do want to talk about first Jordan Davison. I mean, this kid is just a freshman, and he doesn't look like it on the field. His vision when it comes to breaking through the gaps, trying to kind of slip away from the defenders, it's something that veterans do each and every week, and this kid is just a freshman, punching in 2 more touchdowns, part of his incredible first season here at Oregon. He's got 10 for the season, and at the moment he actually got his 10th, he officially had more than double the amount of touchdowns that Wisconsin had until they scored their only touchdown of the game. So a really impressive performance by Davison, but I do want to give a lot of kudos as well to Noah Whittington because he had that big spark to be able to kind of begin the second half that really got Oregon off on the right foot offensively, especially considering that the Ducks offense really struggled through the majority of that first half, excluding that last 99-yard drive. So it was a big reason why they were able to come away with a win. But Brock Thomas as well, coming in relief of Dante Moore, who went out with, it looked like a nosebleed injury. Lanning said he's going to be okay, could have come back in, but give a lot of credit to Brock Thomas. He balled out today.
And I actually wanted to ask you about that, Breck. Brock Thomas, just an impressive performance, and someone at the beginning of the season who wasn't really in the conversation for that QB2 spot. What did you see from him, and why do you think he's such a valuable asset to this Oregon offense?
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit of a dark horse. I mean, Dan Lanning knows how well he's been practicing from the offseason until now. But again, the whole conversation heading into the season was who was it going to be, Dante Moore or Austin Novosad? And here we are with Brock Thomas as the true QB2 behind Dante Moore. And he's shown that the practice he's been putting in each week and each week out has really been paying off. Look, he didn't need to throw the ball that much in this game, only 4 passes, but 4 completions. Of course, he got the big touchdown to Janoris Wilson to kind of seal this game away, but that took a lot of guts and poise in a situation where Dante Moore goes out of the game. Oregon's offense could have really lost all of that steam and the momentum, and he came right into this game and led this team, put them on his back as well to really make the big completions when they needed to, especially on third down. And I think this team recognized as well, Dan Lanning in the postgame conference saying that the team put Thomas up on their shoulders and lifted him up in the locker room. He well deserved a big portion of the credit to be able to lead this offense. Again, the running game, extremely crucial, but for Thomas to perform the way he did, protect the ball and make the big throws when he needed to, it's impressive to say the least, and it's another big reason why the Ducks were able to pull away with this win tonight.
Yeah, impressive is almost an understatement. This quarterback room is really something special. Will Stein has really done a great job developing them. They have an insanely deep room. You got Brock Thomas, Austin Novosad, and more in there. But I also wanted to flip over and ask you about the defense that you saw tonight, holding Wisconsin, a Big Ten program, to just 7 scores. What did you see from them?
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin's offense has obviously had some struggles this season. They only had the 5 touchdowns heading into tonight. Now they have obviously 6 for the season. But give the defense a lot of credit because with the way the conditions were at on the field where, you know, a defensive back could slip at any moment, potentially allowed some big-time plays for the Wisconsin offense, they did a really good job of limiting the big plays and really forcing to Wisconsin to kind of play small ball and kind of chip their way down to the field. A good job by Oregon's defense to really limit that, force them into some third and longs. I think really good job, especially in the secondary. A couple of pass deflections by Dylan Thieneman, Bryce Betcher. I think overall as a unit, they did exactly what they needed to do. Tatum Tuioti almost got a safety in the backfield in the first half. He was laughing a little bit at the end of the sideline, hoping that they were going to reverse the call. Instead, he got the safety. But, you know, Oregon's defense put the pressure on Wisconsin's offense all night long. And I don't think we give them enough credit. I know the Badgers have struggled this season offensively, but it took a lot of guts and a lot of hard play to be able to still hold Wisconsin to just 7 points. And it's been an impressive performance so far this season, Olivia.
Yeah, very impressive on both sides of the ball. This Oregon team is in the conversation for a national championship for a reason, of course. They've got new opponents coming up and new games that they're going to have to win in order to get there. But stay tuned because next, guys, we're taking you around the country from key upsets to standout performances. We've got all the highlights you need to catch up on the biggest games of the weekend coming up next.